Keek on the mic, keek on the mic, keek on the mic, keek on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. In Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms as well to stay connected with all Keek on the Mic news. So, Bears fans, we already know this by now. The Chicago Bears and Ryan Poles absolutely control the upcoming NFL draft due to the fact that they hold the #1 overall pick. With a bunch of quarterback needy teams as well, and with both Bryce Young and CJ Stroud still on the board, the Chicago Bears are expected to get a massive haul of picks in return for the #1 overall pick. So Bears fans, I am super excited to see what happens. So today on the podcast, I'm going to give you guys 5 teams that could possibly trade up with the Chicago Bears and try to snag that #1 overall pick, and also give realistic trade proposals from these 5 teams. And obviously, it's not going to be easy to get the #1 overall pick. Ryan Poles and Chicago Bears can sit back and let these teams have a bidding war on who should get the #1 overall pick. So it's going to be fun to be a Bears fan. It's going to be fun to see what happens and see how much the Chicago Bears could possibly get in return from trading the #1 overall pick. So obviously, as I go through these 5 different teams, feel free to comment down below. And just let me know if you think this is actually a realistic trade proposal, and if you think this team actually has a possibility to trade up with the Chicago Bears and try to get the #1 overall pick. The first team on my list is the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are in desperate need to find their franchise quarterback. They haven't had one since Cam Newton. So I would expect Carolina to be aggressive in trying to trade up for their franchise quarterback and either trying to get Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. The Panthers are currently at #9 overall, so they would have to pay a pretty penny to move up from #9 to #1. I'm not a huge fan in trading back past 5, but when you look at the Carolina Panthers, they are a realistic trade partner as they are a QB needed team. So when you look at a team like the Carolina Panthers and you look like you're trying to go past 5, right? The Carolina Panthers are going to have to give the Chicago Bears a massive haul. And the reason why the Carolina Panthers are an intriguing option, and the reason why they could have a possibility to trade up with the Chicago Bears, even at #9 overall, is because they actually have a massive haul of picks due to the Christian McCaffrey trade. So they do have some more ammo if, in fact, they do want to trade up with the Chicago Bears. So realistically, I can see a trade going like this with the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers would receive #1 overall, and the Bears would receive #9 overall, 3 second-round picks, with 2 of them being in 2023 and a first-round pick in 2024. Bears fans, that is an absolutely massive haul for the Chicago Bears, and honestly, that would really intrigue me. Yes, would miss out on either Will Anderson Jr. or Jalen Carter, but making this trade would still allow the Bears to be within the top 10 and still get a very solid player, while also giving them a massive haul of picks. 2 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks is an absolutely massive haul, and I truly feel that Ryan Poles would absolutely consider it if the price was right. So before I move on to team number 2, do you think this is a realistic trade partner for the Chicago Bears? Let me know down below in the comment section. And would you accept this trade offer from the Carolina Panthers? Let me know down below in the comment section, Bears fans. Number 2 team on my list, the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans fumbled the #1 overall pick after beating the Indianapolis Colts in the finale. And people may ask me, well, Keek, why would the Houston Texans move up 1 spot when they could possibly just stay put and still get the quarterback that they want? And my simple answer to that question is this: if Houston stays put at #2, they're risking the fact that other quarterback needy teams like the Las Vegas Raiders, like the Carolina Panthers, or their division rival in the Colts will shoot up draft board, trade past them, and get the quarterback that they may want. I can absolutely be wrong about this. Maybe Houston wants to stay put. Maybe they don't take a quarterback. I've been hearing a lot of rumors that Houston stays put and waits until next NFL draft to take the quarterback that they want. But personally, when you have a guy like CJ Stroud and Bryce Young on the board, I can guarantee it that Houston is going to want one of the two. So even at number 2, the Texans have to be concerned about Carolina, Las Vegas, and the Colts trading up past them and getting the quarterback that they want. Pretty positive about this, that the Houston Texans don't want to see the Indianapolis Colts get a guy like Bryce Young or CJ Stroud and have to go against that guy for the next 10 to 12 years. The crazy thing is, if the Houston Texans do feel enough pressure where they feel like they have to move up one spot, they may actually have to overpay for the number 1 overall pick to the Chicago Bears, which is really good news for a team like the Chicago Bears. So realistically, I can see a trade going like this with the Houston Texans. Texans receive the number 1 overall pick, and the Bears would receive number 2 overall, number 12 overall, number 33 overall, and a 2024 second round pick. Is it realistic? If they feel the pressure, once again, if the Houston Texans feel the pressure from those other teams and they feel like those other teams are going to jump them and try to get the quarterback that they want, absolutely, this is possible for the Chicago Bears to accomplish. And once again, this would be a massive haul of picks for the Chicago Bears. You are talking about not only the number 2 overall pick, you're talking about the number 12 overall picks. Now you have 2 first-round picks, and then number 33 overall, which is essentially almost like a first-round pick as well, since it's early in the second round. And then you also add a 2024 second round for next year, which, knowing the Houston Texans, they're probably not going to be good next year as well. So that second round pick next year is going to be pretty high. So a massive haul of picks for the Chicago Bears. And this to me would be a very ideal scenario. Trading back just one spot, it would still allow you to pick a guy like Will Anderson Jr. or Jalen Carter. And I personally feel that the Chicago Bears don't want to trade past pick number 4 because they want to have a chance not to only add draft capital, but to pick their ideal target, which is either probably Will Anderson Jr. or Jalen Carter. And this trade allows you to do that. So this is my ideal trade back scenario. I would absolutely love this trade for the Chicago Bears. Bears fans, would you make this trade with the Houston Texans, just trading back one spot, adding a first round pick, adding an early second round pick, and next year's second, and still get Will Anderson Jr.? Let me know down below in the comment section. Number 3 team on my list is the Las Vegas Raiders. The Derek Carr era is now over in Las Vegas, putting them in prime position to either add a QB in free agency or making a move up in the NFL draft. So knowing the Las Vegas Raiders, they're probably going to want to get a guy like CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. You know, sometimes obviously they probably take a look at the Colts, for example, and how it hasn't worked out with some of the veteran QBs that went to the Colts, right? They probably don't want to go down that same path. So it's safe to say that the Raiders are going to probably try to be really aggressive in trying to trade up and trying to get either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. Realistically, I can see a trade going like this. The Raiders receive number 1 overall pick, and the Bears receive number 7 overall pick, number 38, which is in the second round in 2023, and a first, second, and fourth round pick in 2024. This would be another good haul for the Chicago Bears. Once again, I am personally not a huge fan in trading back that far, knowing that we wouldn't be able to land Will Anderson Jr. or Jalen Carter. But I know that I've been reading a lot of Bears fans mock drafts and opinions on the NFL draft, and a lot of people are really high on guys like Tyree Wilson, Myles Murphy. So there is endless opportunities, and you look at the edge depth in this NFL draft. There is a lot of possibilities besides Will Anderson Jr. Will Anderson Jr. is the top prize for the Chicago Bears. But even if you do trade back, yes, this is going to be a massive haul, and you still may be able to land a elite edge rusher, even if you trade back. So this is a massive haul. You know, you trade back, you're not gonna get the player that you actually want in Will Anderson Jr. or Jalen Carter, but getting 2 1s, 2 2s, and a 4th would be a nice haul for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears, especially when you have a lot of holes to fill. The 4th team on my list is the Atlanta Falcons, and the first thing that comes to mind is Ryan Pace. Hey, knock, knock, Ryan Pace. We are open for business in Chicago, and we know that you love making big time deals. So this could fall in the Chicago Bears' advantage. Even though the Atlanta Falcons just drafted Desmond Ridder in last year's draft, I can still see them looking to upgrade at the quarterback position this offseason. Realistically, I can see a trade going like this. Falcons receive number 1 overall pick, and the Bears receive number 8 overall, number 44 in the second round, number 75 in the third round in 2023, and a first and second round pick in 2024. Once again, Bears fans, a nice haul for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears to work with. This would still allow them to pick within the top 10 NFL draft while adding extra second and third round picks in this year's draft. It would also give them 5 picks within the first 100 picks of the NFL draft, and they only currently have 3. So once again, even though trading down would eliminate the fact that they wouldn't be able to get Will Anderson Jr. or Jalen Carter, this still would be a nice haul. And personally, I would definitely be interested in this trade back. Bears fans, would you trade with the Atlanta Falcons for number 8 overall and a nice haul of picks? Let me know down below in the comment section. The last team on my list, and this to me is the most realistic option, is the Indianapolis Colts. This is the most realistic option, Bears fans, and that's all I have to say. The Colts are in desperate need to find a young franchise quarterback, especially after missing out on 2 veteran quarterbacks in Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan that just didn't play well at all. It didn't work out for the Colts. So they are definitely in play and trying to trade up and draft either CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. Coach Jim Irsay wants a young quarterback. And to add to all of this, GM Chris Ballard said this in a recent press conference.
Given what you said about it has to be the right guy, if there's a quarterback in this draft that you think is that guy, would you move heaven and earth to get him? Would you go up to number 1?
Yes, I'd do whatever it takes. If we thought there's a player that we're driven to get that makes the franchise and the team better, that's what we would do.
You guys heard that correctly, Bears fans. Chris Ballard will move heaven and earth and do anything in his power to make sure he gets the quarterback that he wants. And one thing I have to say to Chris Ballard, Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears are open for business. I believe trading back with the Colts could net the Bears the best haul out of the other 4 teams. Realistically, I can see a trade going like this. Colts receive number 1 overall pick. Bears receive number 4 overall pick, number 35 in the second round of 2023, first and second round picks in 2024, and a player. Yes, and a player. That's the slight rumor going around. When you look at what Chris Ballard had to say and how desperate the Colts probably are in trying to get their franchise quarterback after many misses, after many years of trying to find one, that they will do anything in their power to try to get the top spot so they can ensure they get the quarterback that they want. This would be an absolutely massive haul for the Bears and a scenario that I would personally drool over if I was Ryan Poles. 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a player would be a lot for Chris Ballard to give up. And Chris Ballard is usually the GM that's really protective with his picks, but I think he understands that if he wants the number 1 overall pick and he wants to beat out Houston's offer, we all heard Houston's offer, the number 2 overall pick, the number 12 overall pick, the number 33 overall pick, and the second round pick next year. He has to beat that. He understands that he has to beat out his division rival. At the end of the day, I can see the Bears being able to play both the Colts and the Houston Texans and putting them against each other to make sure they get the best haul as possible. And truthfully, that is a realistic option. So Chris Ballard understands that this offer has to be aggressive. 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a player. And personally, I don't know which player they would give up. Maybe DeForest Buckner, maybe Michael Pittman's an option. I know a lot of Bears fans saying, hey, how about Quentin Nelson, which I'm not sure if that's a possibility, but this would be the most aggressive offer for GM Chris Ballard, and an offer that I feel that Ryan Poles wouldn't be able to pass up. Not only you're getting 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a player that can come in right away, especially when you look at a guy like DeForest Buckner, come in right away. Quentin Nelson can come in right away and make your offensive line better. Michael Pittman would come in right away and be your number one wide receiver. But this is the only way I can see the Colts beating out a team like the Houston Texans for the number one overall pick. This trade, by the way, would make too much sense for the Chicago Bears and Ryan Poles. Not only would they get a haul of picks and a player, the Bears would still hold the number 4 overall pick, which means you would still be able to draft either Jalen Carter or Will Anderson Jr. And I'm pretty sure if I ask 100 Bears fans, this is the trade offer that they would want to accept. Because I know that there's a lot of Bears fans that don't want to trade back past 4, including myself, because they want to have a chance to add one of those 2 defensive studs in the draft. To add to all of this, there are also ties to the organizations. Ryan Poles and Chris Ballard worked together in Kansas City from 2013 to 2017. So they know each other. And then you can't forget about Matt Eberflus. He was the Colts defensive coordinator from 2018 to 2021. So the communication shouldn't be an issue. Bears fans, there's not much else to say. I would love this trade so much. Is it realistic? I can definitely see it being a possibility for the Bears. So Bears fans, would you make this trade with the Indianapolis Colts? Let me know down below in the comment section. So all in all, Bears fans, these are the 5 teams that realistically, they need quarterbacks, and realistically, I can see them trying to trade up and trying to get the Chicago Bears number 1 overall pick. Like I said earlier in the video, it's not going to be cheap. Ryan Poles is going to sit back and he's going to try to get the best offer as possible, which rightfully so. And I anticipate that the Chicago Bears will get a massive haul of draft capital that will ultimately help upstart this rebuild for the Chicago Bears. So as a Bears fan, I'm excited to see what happens, and I'm excited to see what we get for the number 1 overall pick. Before I let you guys go, let me ask you guys this one more time. Out of the 5 teams that I listed, who would you be more willing to trade back with the most? Let me know down below in the comment section. So before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, I'll be back for an all-new Bears podcast right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I